Get ready for the top 10 times Family Guy had to be censored. This show doesn't hold back, and neither does its outrageous humor. From jaw-dropping moments to scenes that were too wild to air, we're diving into the most shocking censored bits. Let's see what got cut. You won't believe it.
They may just be neurotic or possibly psychotic.
Number 10. Couch Indecency. In Deep Throats Season 4, Peter and Lois decide to perform folk music for a local talent show, but not without a little help from mind-altering substances. In one scene, Brian and Stewie walk in on Peter and Lois lounging on the couch. While the Fox TV broadcast censors the scene by having the couple wear underwear, the uncensored version is much more revealing. Both Peter and Lois are completely nude. To make matters even more suggestive, Lois asks Brian if she should allow Peter to perform a certain act.
Hey, Brian, he's knocking on the back door.
This addition only makes the moment more awkward and cringeworthy, which is exactly why it needed to be censored for TV. It's a hilarious but definitely NSFW moment. Number 9. TV show parody. The episode PTV Season 4 is a parody of the increasing censorship that gripped the television industry after the infamous Janet Jackson-Justin Timberlake Super Bowl halftime show incident. Ironically enough, the episode itself ended up being censored. Peter creates a show called Douchebags.
Hey PTV fans, welcome to Douchebags,
which is a direct ripoff of the popular Jackass series. In this segment, Peter engages in wild and dangerous stunts over a highway overpass, which also traumatizes Stewie in the process. However, when the episode aired on Fox, this entire scene was cut. The censors demanded changes, and rather than alter the scene, the production team simply removed it entirely. This move proved to be incredibly ironic, an episode mocking censorship only to have its own content censored. Number 8. Meg's outfit. Stewie Kills Lois Season 6 has an iconic moment involving Stewie's infamous gags. At one point, Stewie eavesdrops on Meg, who is standing outside her bedroom holding a packet of jumbo hot dogs. In the Fox version, Meg is seen standing in the hallway with her usual attire, making a crude comment about the hot dogs before going inside. However, in the uncensored version, the gag becomes much more suggestive. Instead of being in the hallway, Meg is already in her bedroom wearing a yellow nightgown.
I'm gonna pretend you're the New York Knicks.
A significant change from the more subtle version seen on Fox. This alteration was likely made to tone down the sexual suggestiveness, but in true Family Guy fashion, the change still manages to add to the humor. Number 7. The Dirty Joke. In The Splendid Source Season 8, the plot revolves around Chris getting suspended from school because of a dirty joke he shares with his classmates. Peter and the guys go on a quest to track down the source of this joke, which leads them to a secret island where a cabal of dirty joke creators reside. In the uncensored version, the episode actually includes the joke.
After 80 years of work and research, I have written the greatest dirty joke in the history of mankind.
Which is quite explicit, filled with swearing, and not something you could air on regular TV. Naturally, the TV broadcast cuts the entire scene. This meant that viewers who saw the episode on Fox never got to hear the legendary joke that caused all the trouble for Chris. It's one of those cases where the joke is so over the top that it had to be censored for television. Number 6. The musical number. Petarded Season 4 is another episode that went a little too far with its humor, especially in the uncensored version. When Peter takes a test for the MacArthur Fellowship, he discovers he has an intellectual disability. This leads to a series of misunderstandings, and soon Joe shares the news with Cleveland, which sparks gossip throughout Quahog. The entire sequence is presented in the form of a musical number parodying the show Bye Bye Birdie. In the uncensored version, the song repeatedly uses a pejorative term, which understandably prompted Fox to remove it from the broadcast. The song itself was brutal and full of bad taste, so it's no surprise the censors decided it wasn't something they wanted the audience to hear. Number 5. The JFK Pez Dispenser. In A Hero Sits Next Door, Season 3, Family Guy went straight for the jugular with a joke about the assassinations of John and Bobby Kennedy. A young boy buys a JFK Pez dispenser, and while walking out of the store, a stray bullet from a police officer accidentally shoots off JFK's head. The boy then pulls out a Bobby Kennedy Pez dispenser as a replacement. This joke was so offensive that it was not only removed from the American DVD release, but it was also cut from many subsequent TV broadcasts. Even creator Seth MacFarlane admitted in an interview that he regretted including the joke. It's a perfect example of how Family Guy sometimes crosses the line too far, even for its own outrageous standards. Number 4. The Boston Marathon. One of the most controversial moments in Family Guy's history came in Turban Cowboy Season 12, where a cutaway joke shows Peter driving through the Boston Marathon and running over several participants. The scene is already dark and offensive on its own, but it was made worse by the fact that it aired in March 2013, just 1 month before the Boston Marathon bombing. In response to the backlash, the episode was pulled from reruns and even temporarily removed from streaming services. Though it was eventually made available on Hulu in 2022, the episode's contents were so inappropriate that it was banned from airing on television for a long time. This moment serves as a stark reminder of how humor and timing can impact sensitive events. Number 3. Quagmire looks for his car keys. Another episode with a controversial moment is When You Wish Upon a Weinstein, Season 3, which Fox initially refused to air due to accusations of anti-Semitism. However, one particular joke within the episode was altered for censorship. In the scene, Lois asks Quagmire to find his car keys, and he proceeds to search for them in his pockets. The camera keeps focusing on his lower half, implying he's doing something far more inappropriate than just looking for keys.
Stop! No problem. Let me grab my keys.
In the censored version, this segment was edited down to show Quagmire finding the keys more quickly, removing the suggestive implication altogether. It's another case of Family Guy pushing the limits just a bit too far. Number 2. The whole episode. Not just a scene, but an entire episode was banned from airing. In Partial Terms of Endearment, Season 8, Lois becomes a surrogate mother for a college friend. After her friend and husband die in a car accident, Lois is left with the decision to get an abortion. The storyline, which delves into sensitive topics surrounding abortion, was deemed too controversial by Fox, and they decided against airing the episode altogether. It was also banned from airing on channels like Adult Swim, and the 2012 special only showed snippets of the episode. Even in 2022, parts of this episode have not aired on American television and weren't included on Disney+. The episode remains one of the most banned in Family Guy history. Number 1. Osama bin Laden. The first Road to Rhode Island, Season 2 episode involved a moment in which Stewie distracts airport security with a song and makes a comment about Osama bin Laden.
Trip to the candy shop.
At the time, it was a harmless joke in the context of the show, but after the September 11th attacks, the scene was pulled from reruns and from the Volume 1 DVD. The joke, which was relatively tame at the time, became highly controversial in light of the tragic events. The scene was later restored in certain places, such as Hulu, but for many years it was completely censored from broadcasts. It's one of the most memorable examples of how Family Guy's humor can hit too close to real-world events. And that's the top 10 censored Family Guy moments. Which scene had you saying, "Wait, what?" Let us know in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next jaw-dropping countdown is just around the corner.